Taste Man here. Time to rank the 14 bands that I saw yesterday. 14 at Bourbon Beyond Day 2, Friday, 2025. We'll start with number 14, the worst band I saw, the Paper Kites. Don't know anything about this band. When I was at their set, I wasn't really drawn into the music. I'd come over from another set. And when I don't know a band, I kind of leave it up to them whether or not they're going to draw me in. The lead singer made a snarky comment about, if you know this song, sing along. If you don't know it, don't sing along, because then you'll ruin it for everybody around you. And then their music had just kind of faded into oblivion. I had them on my lineup, and I'd forgotten that I'd even seen them. I had to look up the pictures to jog my memory. Oh, yeah, that was that band that made the snarky comment. The 13th worst band, the 13th ranked band that I saw yesterday was Gavin DeGraw. Not really my genre. The crowd was very energized and engaged in his music, and there was shade for his set, which was definitely a blessing after hours of substantial sunshine. It kind of fatigued me. The music, I didn't draw energy from the crowd. He did cover Never Tear Us Apart by NXS, which helped salvage his set. Number 12 is a band that I like quite a bit that I've seen before. I think maybe at Forecastle, maybe Bonnaroo, Trampled by Turtles. My son saw them recently open up for Zach Bryan. I really enjoy their music, but they were on one of the main stages right when I got there, like at 1:20, 1:30 in the afternoon. I was kind of getting my bearings, and it was a 1.5 mile walk from the car to get to the festival grounds, and just the sun was wide open. I just wasn't ready to receive them. Number 11, the 11th rated band that I saw yesterday, Bourbon Beyond 2025 Friday, was the Teskey Brothers. On the same stage I saw Trampled by Turtles. For the Teskey Brothers, they're good at their craft. It's just not my genre. Just kind of the I don't know, the weepy blues. I don't know. Somebody like Charles Bradley can pull that off for me, but not the Teskey Brothers. It just didn't engage me. Number 10, Wyatt Ellis. Never heard of him before. He was on in the Bluegrass tent, and Shade. They all look young. I mean, they look like they were in high school or undergrads in college. They look quite academic, so they may be college students. He did play a song for the state of Tennessee, Rocky Top, and as a University of Kentucky fan, I don't like hearing that, but he's probably from Tennessee and loves Tennessee, and there's a lot to love in Tennessee. Very, very high energy bluegrass. The instrumentation reminds me of metal at times, as bluegrass usually does. The fast bluegrass, like the Bill Monroe style fast bluegrass. I did have several great conversations with pop-up acquaintances during this set. Guy was talking to me about how he used to be an expert on picking out single malt scotches in Phoenix, Arizona. He would get the right one out of hundreds of choices at a bar, and if he'd get 3 in a row, they'd give him a free drink. Could be folklore, but it was interesting nonetheless, and it passed the time. I talked to another fella. He told me where he's from. I didn't retain it. I did have him take a picture of my profile, so he might hop in the comments. But he was telling me about his pretty expansive history of attending concerts. Fella just a few years older than me, a few more gray hairs than I have. Number 9, Switchfoot. They're another band that the crowd was just very energized by their set. They did a great job of connecting with the crowd, and part of that's their evangelical background, because they were really talking about unity and positivity and making life better. One thing I really liked about their set is somebody had a song title on a flag, and the lead singer had the crowd send the flag up to the stage, and he said, "This isn't on our set list, may or may not have been." He said, "We're going to play it," and they played it, and the crowd seemed to enjoy it. Sonically, some of their songs sounded really good when I was studying up before the festival. They were pretty heavy. I didn't get any of that heaviness live. There's stuff that's not supposed to be heavy that I can draw some heaviness out of, like, what's his name? Wyatt Ellis, or like Bonnie Light Horseman yesterday. But I just didn't get much heaviness. They had a more toned down set, which made them slip in the rankings. But a lot of other people, they really enjoyed it. Now, I think the next band after them on the stage beside, I don't know if it was Revival or 100 Proof stage, a band called the 502s. I don't know if they're from Louisville. That's the area code, or used to be the area code of Louisville, 502. This band was super, super, super energetic and positive as well. I guess they were keeping the positive vibes going. Very happy band members, and they had a saxophone player, super energetic. I mean, the guy did calisthenics through the entire set. So the lead singer, who also played banjo. I mean, he kept hopping up, playing banjo and smiling and singing. He looked like Jim from The Office. Sonically, they didn't really rein me in, but their energy helped their rankings. And the saxophone player I really liked. I mean, at times they reminded me of ska. And ska, like in moderation. I saw a ska band open for Primus one time, really enjoyed it, but I can't sit around listening to ska all day. You probably can. Who's your favorite ska band? Drop it in the comments. Let's see, it's kind of hard to keep up with the numbers because I thought I saw 15 bands, but I only saw 14, so I just scratched them out. Number 7 is the headliner, Fish. I've seen Fish several times. Now, I'm not a Fish connoisseur. I can't break down the intricate details of their set lists and this song goes into that song, goes back into that song, goes back into that song. I only know 2 of their song titles, and they didn't play the one that I know before I left. I looked at the set list and they did play it later on. So yeah, I tipped my hand. I only stayed for a few Fish songs, but Fish songs can go on for 25 minutes, so I may have been there an hour. But they're masterful at their craft. They're great tacticians. They can play their instruments, and they're committed to their own journey. I was in the merch line, and I contemplated getting a hat that would be one of the most polarizing hats on earth for a lot of people. It was a bright neon orange camo hat with the Fish, P-H-I-S-H, Fish with the bubbles on it, the iconic Fish emblem. But after about five minutes or so of just absolutely getting fatigued by some indecisive Fish fans that appeared to be on some mind-altering journeys as they were trying to navigate the limited merch, I was like, you know what? I don't need to spend $35 on that. I just need to get another metal logo foam trucker hat. That's more my style. Anyway, I digress, and we're going to number 6. Another band that were great tacticians and able to deliver the music with precision is Joe Bonamassa, or Bonamassima. I ate at a pizza restaurant. I didn't retain the name of the place. Yeah, I was trying to draw it up. It's gone. It's like a half a mile from my hotel. And it's a little absolute hole in the wall. Certified hole in the wall. I think I took some pictures. I may post some later on. But they said that Joe Bonamassima had eaten there earlier that day. Maybe after a set, I don't know, maybe before. Anyway, very energetic blues, heavy by Bourbon Beyond standards, not by Louder Than Life standards. And I like the energy, and I actually took a power nap during it. That might seem absurd, but when you're at music festivals, you gotta recharge your batteries when you can. It's a little too bluesy at times for me without being like Sunhouse or Howlin' Wolf or Lead Belly. Like, I like that kind of retro blues, like the Document Records and Alan Lomax stuff. But sometimes the more hard rock blues kind of fatigue me. You know, obviously I like stuff like Black Label Society and Black Sabbath, who certainly are heavily influenced by the blues. Anyway, digressing again. Number 5, the 5th best band that I saw on day number 2, Friday, Bourbon Beyond 2025, is a man who has held down the drum kit for Sturgill Simpson probably for about a decade now. Miles Miller, he who holds the key to Versailles, Kentucky. Miles Miller's band, I got there early to make sure that I would see their set. They were on one of the side stages. And Miles Miller still played the drums and sang, which always impresses the hell out of me when anybody can do that. It's crazy enough for my ADHD brain that people can like remember how to drum and what parts of the drum set to hit when. Like when I was in metal bands, that's the thing that would always fascinate me. Like our guitar players, most of them were self-trained, self-taught, and could play by ear. But some of them, you know, knew how to read tabs or would write out their own music and all that, so they'd have a blueprint. But the drummers, they just had to remember everything and know when to do what, and it would just amaze me. Like when we would do covers of, you know, Sepultura, Danzig, or Slayer, or Manson songs, like I could remember the drums from that because I've heard the songs hundreds of times. But for them to remember our songs, it just absolutely baffled me that brains could do that. And it's a true gift and talent. But then to sing on top of that, one of the best singers I ever saw, I'm on another digression, but that's what life is. Life is about journeying. One of the best singers I ever saw may have been here in Louisville. I think it may have been at the Toy Tiger. I don't know. I saw Ace Frehley one time, and Scott Coogan was playing drums, and when they did Kiss songs where Paul Stanley was singing, Scott Coogan, while playing drums, sang the Paul Stanley lines and hit every note. I mean, that was impressive. Another phenomenal drummer. One of my bands opened up for a death metal band back in the early days of death metal in the 90s, a band named Nocturnus. And their lead singer was their drummer, and he's back there growling and playing this super complex, like Neil Peart level complexity drums, and he's growling. I mean, I was blown away. You know, I was just a teenager at the time, and it just blew me away that guy could play such complex drums and somehow growl. They're a very interesting band. You ever heard Nocturnus? If you haven't, treat yourself. Look up the key. It may not have aged well for folks that haven't been exposed to it before, but I think it's a masterpiece of an album, especially since I got to see him perform it live. But anyway, I've gone way far away from Miles Miller and his band. So speaking of going way far away, you know, Sturgill Simpson, I mean, he went far away from himself with Sound and the Fury. He didn't go far away from himself. He went far away from what Nashville wanted you to think was his self. And then now Johnny Blue Skies. But anyway, Miles Miller, like some of his earlier solo stuff, has a honky tonk flair and a little bit of that there. But when I saw him live yesterday, I heard way more funk and R&B, Prince inspired, Lenny Kravitz inspired. Maybe not overtly, but it's there because I was getting flavors of that. And he's got a soulful voice. I think the other dudes in his band may also be in Sturgill's band, and there may have been 200-300 people there, you know, and there'll be 20,000 people there tonight for Johnny Blue Skies, which I find that absurd that people who consider themselves diehard fans won't go and watch the spinoffs and side projects and new life versions of the bands that they love. It's like I remember one time I was with my buddy Pilgrim Chapter 32. We were down at Bonnaroo, and we were watching Robin Hitchcock. And Robin Hitchcock, his band was the entirety of REM without Michael Stipe. And we were there, and there's probably 500 people watching that set with us. And then we had all these people pushing and shoving around us and that were completely disinterested in Robin Hitchcock and all of REM except for Michael Stipe. And we found out afterwards it's because Iron and Wine was playing next, and I don't know if I blew off Iron and Wine yesterday. I think I did, but if he's on the lineup today, I'll do it again because he bored us to tears after Robin Hitchcock and REM without Michael Stipe. But it's interesting because if REM was playing Bonnaroo, there would have been 40, 50,000 people watching. But REM with Robin Hitchcock, 500-ish, and that's probably on the higher end. But anyway, Miles Miller was the 5th best artist that I saw yesterday. The 4th best artist that I saw yesterday, never heard of this band before, could not retain the band name. When I was studying up for this a little bit, none of their songs stood out to me. They may have played right after Miles Miller. Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. You listen to them? You heard of them? At one point in their set, they said their 8th album's coming out. I figured they were younger dudes who were just getting started. Said they're from Baltimore, which they don't sound like what you would think of Baltimore if you've watched The Wire. Man, they were super energetic. There was a lot of reggae influence in there. There's another band that was happy and positive and just really, really good music festival vibes. Which is good, when I go to music festivals, that's what I like. I like getting, some good vibrations. That's what I used to like about Bonnaroo. It's gotten so corporate, and I've gotten so old. I'm such a dinosaur by Bonnaroo standards that it's kind of drifted away from me, and that's fine. I mean, they're going for different demographics. The lineup here at Bourbon Beyond is more like what Bonnaroo used to be. Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. They got heavy at times. They covered Led Zeppelin song I didn't retain. The Led Zeppelin song, maybe Over the Hills and Far Away. I don't know. Maybe Kashmir. I think maybe Kashmir. Did a great job. Fabulous job. And they made it their own. I mean, you could tell it was Zeppelin, but they also made it their own. That was a highlight of their set. I don't know their originals enough for any of those to really be a highlight with zero exposure, but they really did great with that, and just great vibes. So kudos, cheers to you, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. And no, when I put my hand up like that, I'm not trying to do a Phil Anselmo thing for people to misconstrue. I was just putting my hand up. It's just gesturing. Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, I'm sure politically, I would suspect go pretty far to the left. So don't misconstrue that just because I got a battle vest on. Number 3, something to not misconstrue. And this is an artist you need to seek out. Number 3 overall, the 3rd best artist I saw yesterday. Maybe 10, 20 people paying attention when he was playing. Jet Holden. Jet with 2 T's, like Joan Jett. I'm a big fan of him. He's in my 512 Fairly Obscure Songs tournament. His song Taxidermy, which he did not play. I kept waiting for it, and I was literally right in front of him, and I thought about requesting. I'll probably post a video or 2 of him performing because it was it was an emotional performance. It really was. He nearly brought me to tears several times. It's just, he's barefoot, had the best pair of pants on the entire festival that I've seen so far. These just elaborate works of art with skulls on them and different designs underneath. And he had a sleeveless brown t-shirt that looks like he's worn it as much as Jim James wears his t-shirts. And speaking of which, Jim James was there yesterday with the mayor of Louisville. And I heard he was also at the Whirling Tiger afterwards. Had enough energy to be on the dance floor after the festival. But Jim James or Yim Yames, I don't know if he was there watching Jet Holden because I didn't look all the way around. But this guy, he's got the spirit of Jim James or Yim Yames. He really connects, and he was so authentic up on stage. He had his acoustic guitar. It had a bunch of autographs on it, and some of the autographs were smudged. Had some stickers. Some of the stickers were smudged. The sound was pretty rough at the beginning. It was so rough. I mean, he's got a powerful voice too. So rough that they switched microphones out at a couple songs in, and Jet was like, if you need to switch it out, switch it out. Because it's not about the sound. It's not about you being perfect. A lot of rock stars, they can definitely be tantrum prone if the sound doesn't sound like, perfect recording studio level sound. I've seen Ryan Adams have several tantrums and other artists, but Jet was like, yeah, whatever, man. We can roll with that microphone. No microphone, we'll do a new microphone. I'm just happy to be here. He started his set 5 minutes early, which is unlike TV on the radio, who started late. He had humility. There was some atrocious DJ music being played right before him. By my standards, there were people on the dance floor that loved it. So they weren't playing that for me, which is wise, because what I like, most people don't. But anyway, Jet, super emotional. He shared that a couple of his songs were inspired after he found a roommate who had traumatically passed away in his apartment at just a few months before COVID, and he got therapy later on. But one of the ways that he is healed, or I don't know, that you heal from that he's continued his journey to try to understand that portion of his biography and life journey is through music. And he sang a couple of songs in memory of his friend, and I don't know how he was able to sing those songs without crying. Of course, he had on some Ray Davis dark sunglasses, so maybe he was crying underneath those lenses. But very powerful set. So that's the third best that I saw all day. He had strength and resilience through traumatic grieving. And the number 2 overall artist I saw yesterday also exhibited strength and resilience. I'd never listened to this dude other than he has a hit song that I knew a little bit. I mean, I've heard it a bunch of times in my life. It's kind of like Elevator. It's in the Elevator music rotation. It's one of those songs from the 80s that gets played a lot, but you don't know who sings it. When I say you, I don't know who sings it. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Mark Cohn or Mark Kahn, Marccohn. So I don't know if it's Con. We'll do Cohen. Cohen. I don't know. Mark C. How about that? Mark C. So I had a good time, because while Pigeons playing ping pong were on the stage beside us, I was up on the rail there where Mark was going to play, just because there's shade and the sound's the same. So sometimes if I've actually got the shade and the rail, I'll just stay someplace and watch the next band from the side and see them on the thing and hear them. The sounds is good. So I was like that for Mark. And I was watching his percussion player, who just had like a bongo drum and several brushes. That was the extent of it. And his guitarist, and they were kind of bantering. And there were things that were not to the satisfaction of the percussionist quite a few times. And he reminded me of my buddy Steven Tanzer from Boston. I mean, he's all gray and receding and short, but he reminded me like an old Boston guy who's got an axe to grind about a lot of things, because it seemed like there were quite a few things that were perturbing him as he was getting ready for this set. But Pigeons playing ping pong were playing this super energetic, positive music, and just the juxtaposition to me was fascinating. But anyway, when Mark came on the stage, it's obvious that he had some involuntary tremors. He was moving pretty slow, rigid, upright posture, possibly post-stroke or something of that nature. Then he got up to the microphone, and man, his voice, it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And it was precision, precise. He engaged well with the crowd. At one point, he was snapping, and several of the snaps were crystal clear. I'm not good at snapping myself. But then he missed a few snaps, and it didn't wear him down. He didn't get discouraged. He kind of chuckled to himself, and then he righted the ship on the snaps. And to me, that was a beautiful thing. That is survival. That is perseverance. That is inspirational. He got behind the keyboard and played fantastic keys and sang. He cracked several jokes with the crowd that were well executed, well timed. Reminded me last year, an artist that absolutely blew me away. One of the best artists I saw, Bourbon Beyond 2024, was Chris Isaacs. He also was super witty. But Mark, the set was phenomenal. I'm not familiar with a lot of his songs. His second song was called Listening to Levon, which I had picked out as one of my favorite songs, listening up to all the artists beforehand. I created a little side playlist of songs that jumped out to me and sounded really good. And I didn't know it was about Levon him. I should have known about it. But he told everybody it was about Levon effing him, and he didn't say effing, but I'm trying to keep this video from being suppressed any more than it will be because it's already almost a half hour long. But I love Levon him, and it was a beautiful song. He did a Willie Dixon song and knocked that out of the park. His entire set was a delight. Mark C, or Mark C-O-H-N. Somebody in the comments, let me know how to pronounce it. I could have looked it up, but you know what? I'm imperfect. It is what it is. Number one overall band that I saw, day 2, Bourbon Beyond, Friday, 2025. It is a band that I can't remember how to spell their band name or pronounce it. And the guitarist said how to pronounce the band right at the end, and they interacted a little with the crowd. Krongaman. I don't know. I don't even know if I spelled it right. Kruangbin. Drop in the comments if you want to try to help me pronounce that. If you made it this far, I'm absolutely grateful and stunned that you've made it this far. I figure that I'd be the only one that would watch this video all the way through. But, you know, I saw some people running to the hills and getting antsy during their set, because this band, I mean, they've got their vibe, they have their journey, and it's super meditative. It's psych, and it's a whole lot of instrumentation and droney, and reminded me of vaporwave quite a bit. And I love vaporwave. Vaporwave is a genre I didn't know of that I've gotten tipped off to during my 512 Fairly Obscure Songs tournament. And there were a lot of elements that reminded me of vaporwave, but they're doing it guitar, bass, and drums. This is a very special band. They're elite, and the second time I've seen them live. The first time I was not sober. This time I was absolutely sober, and I thought, well, they won't be as good sober. No, they were. They were still 200% phenomenal. So, Kruangbin, I don't know. However you pronounce it, they are the best band, the number one band that I saw on Friday at Bourbon and Beyond 2025. Looking forward to who's going to be elite today. I suspect Johnny Blue Skies and Jack White will be near the top, but don't keep the comments at me empty. Cheers. How did I get tongue-tied on the word empty? Foolish. Yes, I am.